Welcome back to the Urban Ranch version 2.0 episode 17.4. This is the fourth and last installment of episodes focused on refinishing of some of the original 107-year-old pocket doors in the home. So we're working on some of the door repair here today. I want to show you some of the techniques in that we're using. It's a little bit tricky, and I'm still relatively novice at this, so we're doing the best that we can to kind of patch up some repairs that these doors have needed from some mistakes and things that have come along the way. So I'd like to show you some of the techniques I'm using to kind of do some of the door repair today. I'm going to show you what we're working on here. What I just kind of finished up was working on some of the patching in some of the areas on a few of the doors here, where again, if you remember, we had window latches before. So what I've done is I've made up some wood filler using a couple of different colors of wood filler, and I'll show you here in a minute. Did some test runs, used this red resin dye, and then I kind of bled some of that into these, and this was the ultimate color that I ended up going with. And when it was wet, I think it was pretty close to where we're going, and when it's going to dry a little bit lighter, which is exactly what I want, because I'm going to come back in and put a dye stain over top the whole thing. I think this is going to work out well. But the next piece on this door here, you can see this is the bottom of this door, and you can see the veneer has chipped off. It looks like there must have been something on the floor that when this door was opened, it really dug a gouge into the door and kind of chipped some of the veneer over here. So what we're going to do is, I was able to find at Woodworks a piece of veneer that ironically is, and it doesn't show up as well, I don't think, in this lighting, but it's pretty similar. And I think once I get this spliced in here, I think this will work out well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of veneer, lay it over top of this, cut it so my cuts are identical, clean up some of that, and then I'll glue this down, and I'll do the same over on that piece there. As for this groove in the door, I'm going to test some of that combination of the dye stain with some of that red tincture, since the doors do appear to have a little bit of a red hue to them, some of them more so than not. You can see this is the set of doors from the other side of the house, and this was a door from our side. You can also see that I've now used my made-up putty and filled in this gap in here. And again, my hope is that once this dries and I put just a little bit of dye stain on there, that'll help kind of hide that repair there. So a little bit more to do here, and I'll kind of show you more of the images as I continue to kind of clean this up and repair that there. So as we say, more to come on the Urban Ranch version 2.0. So you can see a little bit closer shot here of the damage on that door. Now, the process that I'm going to go through to repair that is I'm going to take that overlay of veneer, mark that out, and you can see I'm using a series of chisels to kind of clean up and get that out of there. I've already now glued in the new piece of veneer. While I let that sit, I'm going back and working on the other pieces of trim. Again, let everything kind of sit in. Now I'm going through, as you can see here, and using that wood filler that I kind of dyed to match things. Also, ironically, during the same time period, a neighbor of ours had this a wonderful little sign for private music lessons in her yard, and I walked by one day and found that it was cracked in half. I called her up and said I think I could fix that, and sure enough, a couple of biscuit joinery to repair it, and a little bit of silicone, a couple coats of a protectant film on it, and her sign is good as new. You can see here just getting that sign ready, biscuiting it all up and gluing it together. Should be good for years to come. Now, after the that veneer has dried, and I used my dye stain over top of that, as well as the other pieces of trim work, go ahead and put a couple coats of the clear on, and you can see here's that finished door. You can look down at the bottom right there. That's my repair job on that. Again, not perfect, but certainly better than it was. You can see here that other set of doors. There's that crack that I filled in. Now you can see here, this is the same set of doors. On the left, that's the side that'll be facing into the master bedroom. The side on the right here in this image, that side will actually be facing into our master closet. So again, you won't really appreciate the repair that I did, but I'm glad to know that it's done and looks pretty good. Last piece left to do on these is going to be to polish up those door handles. You can see I've started on one of them and kind of bringing that brass back to life with just using some Brasso and a little bit of elbow grease. Well, thanks again for watching UrbanRanch version 2.0, and you know, I've been known on these videos to poke a little fun at others, and I got to let you know that the filming and production of this isn't without errors, so I hope you enjoy these couple of little outtakes here. Okay. Well, welcome back to UrbanRanch. Welcome back to the UrbanRanch version 2.0. We're going to show, well, I'd like to show you some of the tips and techs.